Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for June the 28th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy, and then after that I'll pull one card apiece for each sign, and we'll see how all of that plays out together. Okay, let's look at overall energy. Shows up as, Three of Swords. That side in reverse. Okay. So some kind of heartache that you had in the past that you've actually already been healing up from or healed up from is how I'm going to be reading that overall energy. Unless, Spirit throws a curveball at me as I'm going through, but that's pretty much how I'm going to be seeing that. Some kind of heartache from the past that you've actually already done a lot of healing work on. Let's see how this plays out for everybody here. We're going to start with Aries. So Aries, what do we have here? We have the King of Pentacles coming up for you guys in reverse. This side of the King of Pentacles in reverse. So what's going on now? All right, so Aries, basically what this is saying is that whatever this heartache was that you've healed up from in the past, with this King of Pentacles showing up in reverse, this tells me that there may be something that comes up that makes you aware today that you are no longer putting energy or effort into this thing that you've already healed up from. So somebody may ask you, hey, how are you feeling about that? Or make a comment about what your emotions might be around whatever this heartbreaking situation was at one point. And I think this is going to be where you realize that, I just don't have the energy to put into that anymore. I don't feel bad about it anymore. I don't feel good about it anymore. It's just kind of an indifferent type of thing that is showing up for you here, Aries. Next up, we're looking at Taurus. And so Taurus, with Lovers showing up that side in reverse, this is basically telling me a very similar story to what Aries had. But basically this is telling me that there is some kind of heartache that you've already spent some time healing up from, and basically that this situation that you've healed up from is not something that you can go back to and fix and make better. This is something that, is irreconcilable. This is not something you can go back and fix in the future or even today. And you may be realizing, today may be the day you realize that this has hit the point where it's beyond reconcilable at this point, at this time. So this may be the day you realize, that's not anything I can ever go back to. All right, that was for Taurus. Next up, we're looking at Geminis. Okay, Five of Cups showing up that side in reverse, Geminis. So Geminis, it looks like you've done some work around some type of old heartache or heartbreak. You've done a lot of healing around that. And at this point in time, you have forgiven whatever that is that had caused those negative feelings or negative energies from the past. You've let any of that burden of those negative energies go. So you're not holding on to any more hurt, insult, injury, blame, self-blame, anything like that. You've just pretty much let all of that go. So this talks about really coming into a place of full and complete healing around whatever this heartache or heartbreak was that you have recovered from. And you may just be realizing today, wow, that's not messing me up anymore. I'm in a good space with that now. All right, next up, Cancers. Cancers, you guys are showing up with the Five of Wands. And this is talking about this idea of in the past there was some kind of heartache or heartbreak that you've actually spent some time healing up from. With this Five of Wands, Cancers, there's some type of competitive situation. So maybe this was a situation in the past where you weren't the only one that was heartbroken by this situation, but now you're finding yourself in this competitive place of, let's see who can heal up the fastest. Let's see who can move on the fastest. Let's see who can get their life together the fastest or their emotions together the fastest. So it's a competitive situation, and we can see from that background with that volcano, you know, beginning to explode in the background of this competitive situation, that this actually is going to bring up a whole new cycle of energies around this old situation if you're not careful and don't get yourself out of this competitive situation. But this competitive situation is very likely to trigger up some old feelings, even though you're not expecting that and you haven't felt them for a while. So be careful with getting into a competitive situation around that. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Leo, Leo, Leo. This is interesting, Leos, because you've got, with this card, this says that in the past you had some kind of heartache or heartbreak that you've gotten over. You've done the work. You've gotten over that, moved on from that. And then we have the Tower showing up in today's energy, which just tells me that I think the idea that you've gotten over this really kind of shakes you up just to think, because I think you may have thought you would never be able to get over that or move past that. It may be that, you know, somebody passed away and that was the heartache or the heartbreak, and you never thought you would get over them passing away, and you're starting to realize that, you know what, maybe life does go on, and maybe, you know, you don't ever forget somebody, definitely, but it is not always as intense as it starts out the first year or two. And I can say that speaking from experience. And I think that realization that, you know, maybe there can be some things that are good still is a major shakeup for you. I think it's a whole new perspective for you whenever it shows up today. Okay, so that's Leo's. Next we're looking at Virgo. Virgo. Okay, so Virgos, here's the thing. In the past, you had some kind of heartache or heartbreak. You've already healed up from that or done some work around healing up from that heartache or heartbreak with this card coming up in reverse, right? Now, with this card being the Strength card showing up in reverse, this is telling me that that healing that you've accomplished so far has been pretty fragile. So there may have been days when you felt okay, and then there were other days when you still did not. And so I think that this is really still in progress for you. This whole healing situation is still in progress for you. You're still working on finding your happiness, getting your self-esteem back, all of that stuff. So this whole healing situation is still in progress as far as for you guys, Virgos. Next up, we're looking at Libra. So Libras, what do we have? This side of the Two of Wands in reverse showing up for you guys. What is going on here? This is interesting. It looks like some of you are feeling guilty about getting over something that was in the past. And when I say some of you, I mean more than one sign now. So this talks about some kind of old heartache or heartbreak that you have taken the time to heal up over. You've taken the time to, you know, really process through it and try to put it behind you. With the Two of Wands, though, I really feel like you have the choice today to move forward or not to move forward. And I think you're really confused about if you should move forward. I think that for some of you, there's some kind of lingering sense of, but if I do move forward, that means this is really, really in the past, and I might feel guilty about doing that to this person, which is, you know, I think that's, you know, our heart says what our heart says, but I don't know that that necessarily matches up with logic, because this feels like this is old. This is kind of done and dusted. It's been done for a while, but you're still afraid to move forward because you don't want to put that final nail in the coffin, I think. You may, you know, I think you feel like that would not be being kind or being gracious to the other person. And it's, you know, you're really still hoping. And I think you're considering if you move forward today and this person comes back tomorrow, then what are you going to feel like if they come back tomorrow? But, you know, here's the thing. That's an if. That's an if. All right, cover the ifs when you get to them is what I say. Let's see. So there's this debate about whether you should move forward or not. And I think there's a little bit of guilt feeling about actually deciding to move forward, which is, it's holding you back. It's making you hesitate. It's keeping you from actually making up your mind. All right, so that was Libra. You want to just examine that. See what you think about that when you look at it from a more logical perspective. Detached, that's the word I'm looking for, a more detached perspective, Libras. Okay, so this we're looking at Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. What do we have here? King of Cups showing up in reverse. I don't know that I ever noticed the dolphin in the bottom of this card. Dolphins are incredibly intelligent. All right, so Scorpios, in the past there was some kind of heartache or heartbreak that we have gotten over, and we have really put it behind us. We've done a lot of healing work, a lot of processing work around this. With this King of Cups showing up that side in reverse, I think we really, I think we had to make a real conscious effort to turn our backs on this old situation. I also think that whatever this heartache or heartbreak was, if there's people involved, we still carry a lot of love for the person in this situation, the person besides ourselves, but we don't show that. And I think for a lot of us, we don't show that because it's not appropriate for us to show that. And so we just try not to look at that situation. Try not to look at that situation. Try not to talk about that situation. Try not to think about that situation, probably. All right, so that's for Scorpios. Next up, we're looking at Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. With this card, this tells me that in the past there was some type of heartache or heartbreak that you have already done some healing around. You're already pretty much past that. However, with this card, this tells me that whatever this heartache or heartbreak was, it has left some kind of scar on you, Sagittarius, that you haven't managed to figure out how to get rid of yet. And that scar is the idea that this situation from the past has sort of broken your faith. It's really hard for you to imagine another situation like that actually working out well in your future. So I think you're not even really looking for that. And in fact, I think if something stood right in front of you, you probably would not even acknowledge it or see it as real. Okay, that's for Sagittarius. Next up, let's look at Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn. Wasn't it you that got this card just recently, Capricorn? Maybe not. Maybe not. Somebody did recently, though. Okay, so with the overall energy, you have gotten over something that was a heartache or a heartbreak in the past. You've done some healing energy. You've processed this situation. You've gotten past that. I think that there definitely was love for whoever else was in that situation with you. But I think that you've come to the conclusion that just because there was love there doesn't necessarily mean that you guys were compatible to be spending a lot of time together. And I think that you've kind of moved away from the idea of trying to make interacting on a regular schedule at all work. I kind of feel like you would like to be friends, but you're not sure if that would even work. And so I think you're just moving away from this situation. You're not trying to really keep it alive in any format and just trying to move away so that you can find some peace. I think you're coming to a point of acceptance that, you know, just because you love somebody doesn't mean that they can be around you all the time and that everything's going to work out well like that. All right. Interesting. So that's Capricorn, right? Yes. Next up is Aquarius. So, Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, I feel like with this old situation from the past, a old heartache or heartbreak that you've taken the time to heal up from, you've processed through, you're in a really good space right now. Here's the thing. I think that whoever this was about, I think they're showing up today, and I think they're expressing their appreciation towards you. They're going to tell you, wow, you've really done well since whatever happened. And they're going to be showing that appreciation, maybe even trying to reopen some type of cycle with you that you've been out of for a while, possibly. But I do think definitely somebody is telling you that you've done a good job in getting past whatever this heartache or this heartbreak is. And I think for a lot of you, that person is going to be whoever the heartbreak and heartache was over. All right. Now, let's look at Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Boy, this Three of Cups just really likes to show up in reverse in that side, doesn't it? 2 threes. All right, so here's the thing, Pisces. I think that you have a situation from your past where there was some kind of heartache or heartbreak. You've gotten over that. You've worked through it, processed through it. And I think that you're considering whoever caused this heartache or heartbreak, they used to be a friend. You used to consider them a friend. I think now you're not really. If anything, you're considering them a frenemy. I'm not sure you're even considering them a frenemy, to be really honest. You may not be considering them a friend in any sort of capacity at all, even frenemy. Okay? And that may be something that's coming to a head today, is you realizing, you caused me to have to do so much healing. I don't know why I'm still talking to you. That type of realization. Okay? So thank you guys very much, everybody, for being here. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry it wasn't all sunshine and roses today. I do hope to be able to work with some of you personally later on. And then the rest of you, I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.